Hey, crime cousins. Welcome back to a brand spanking new episode of the Melanin Mayhem podcast, hosted by your favorite country girl, Renee Davis. Mwah. If today is your first time frolicking through the fields of mayhem, let me be the first to welcome you. You are amongst friends. Go ahead and sit yourself down. Let me tell you what you've gotten yourself into. You see, over here at Melanin Mayhem, I am going to bring you the stories of some of the most heinous. Oh, child, I'm talking diabolical and downright audacious crimes committed by some melanated baddies that you may or may not have ever heard of. But that's okay, because that's why I'm here, your hostess with the mostest. I'm going to bring you these stories so that we know that, baby, black people commit serial offenses. That's my whole mission in life. I'm out here to dispel the myth that there are certain types of crimes that black people don't commit. Cap. Honey, because we do it. We do it all, and we've been doing it all. And I have got a great story for you today, so go on ahead, get comfortable, because, ooh, honey, it's about to go down. But before I get into the story, I gotta spend a little time with my boo things. I'm talking about the New War Nation. Hey, babies. I feel like we have not talked in like a month. I don't know what it is. Baby, it's going down. I'm so ready for fall to come in because you know it's about to be Virgo season. Y'all know how I feel. I'm trying to contain myself. And also, don't forget, I'm going to take a little time off to enjoy my birthday. I have to keep throwing that out there because I don't want no smoke from y'all. But I do have something in the chamber to tide y'all over till I get back. Let's see. New War Nation, what do we have to talk about for church announcements? For those of you who subscribe, don't forget this month we're going to have our first get together. I'll be sending out the invites to the same email address that you use on your subscription. I can't wait to kick it with y'all, baby. We're going to have a time. A time will be had. And guess what? For the rest of the New War Nation who are not members of the subscription service, baby, you can get down. There is no reason for you to have FOMO. It's open for $6.99 a month, baby. Me and you. I think I'm actually, that's a discounted price. Baby, $6.99. I'm just saying. And you get the story series. So if you are interested, go over to Melanin Mayhem podcast.supercast.com. Oh, okay. Anything else other than the meet and greet? I'm ready for summer to be over with because, oh my God, it is like 1,000 degrees here in Georgia and I'm melting. I took some braids out and baby had to put them right back in because we ain't finna do this. Not with these personal summers that I am having. No, ma'am, and no, sir. Let me see. Other than that, you know what? I have put off recording the podcast because I have to go do a medical procedure tomorrow that involves a lot of needles. And while I'm not scared of needles. Having a lot of them stuck in you to see if your nerves are doing what they need to do does not sound like it's going to be fun in any way, shape, form, or fashion. So I've been slow rolling recording because that means I don't have to get into bed, which means I won't have to wake up to go over here. Long way out. When I tell you the doctor that I got to go to tomorrow, this specialist, it's across town and it don't make no sense. And only in America, our healthcare system does it take you damn near a year to get an appointment with a specialist. Ugh, I'm not looking forward to it. Y'all pray for your girl, honey, because Okay, what else do we have today? I think that's it, y'all. Don't forget the website is available for all of your merchandise needs, as well as the e-guide over at melaninmayhempodcast.com. Oh, we have a fabulous Facebook group. It is the Melanin Mayhem Podcast private discussion group, and we do a couple of things over there. You know, you can be amongst your peoples. It's private, and we can talk, and you ain't got to worry about nobody all up in your business. That's on Facebook, and I actually think that's all we have for right now. Y'all, let's get into it, because I got a tale of fuckery and foolishness. Y'all, I feel like I'm tripping over serial offenders. I just be minding my own business and bam, serial killer. And this one here, oh, he a trifling dog. And I'm sad to say, I don't have a lot of information on his victims because, well, they are part of the preferred food group of the serial killers, women that are on the margins of society who, sometimes do a little something to do a little something. But y'all know, I can make a meal out of some bones. So I'm going to do what I do when I do what I do. This nigga we're going to talk about today, he is a boil on the inside of a prolapsed, infected anus. That is an apt description of this motherfucker. And we gon' drag his ass for filth as he so justly deserves. So, New One Nation, y'all gone on ahead and hold your nose while I drag this trifling motherfucker up the aisle to the front of the congregation for a proper read. This week's Melanin Mayhem maker is Mr. Hubert Geralds Jr. Let us go on and get to the reason for the streaming. Hubert Geralds Jr. was born November 13th, 1964. Now, some reports say he was from Chicago, that's where he was born. But at some point in his young youth, he moved to the projects in Staten Island with his family, and he stayed there through at least his teenage years. But wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. Hubert's mom and them, I don't know their names, which is surprising, but I don't. But I do know that Mama Gerald's, she had 8 children. 5 girls, 3 boys. Ooh, honey, they don't make them like that no more. And your boy Hubert, he was the oldest boy. Now, y'all know this is the 60s, right? And culturally speaking of the times, and even now, the oldest melanated boy, sometimes is promoted to man of the house. And that's what happened when Hubert Geralds Sr., because, if our Melanin Mayhem maker is a junior, that means his daddy was a senior. So when Gerald Sr. dipped out, well, it was time for Hubert to step up. The only problem was Hubert Jr., he was not up to the challenge. According to his family, he literally didn't understand the assignment. Now, shady black people, older black people, we will say some things. And I keep calling this boy Gerald, but his name is Hubert, but I want to call him by his last name, which has an S on it. All kind of screwed up. Maybe I should just call him HG. No, Hubert asked. Hubert's people, they described him as, quote, a slow-witted child in special education classes. Ooh, come on now. Y'all didn't have to call Hubert out like that. But you know what? I actually think that at first, Hubert tried to live up to the responsibility that was bestowed upon him. I do. They say that him and his sister, and I'm thinking that this was the oldest sister, the oldest children got to go out here and go try to help the family however they could. So they say that they would be out on the block at the store offering to carry people's bags and stuff. You know what I'm saying? For a love donation, of course. But even in the 70s, when times were, shall we say, a little less expensive, that wasn't enough money to try to help take care of a household. And after a while, Hubert was like, the hell with this shit. And while he wasn't up to the task of getting his man on for being the man of the house, he was certainly having no trouble getting his crime on. And we know this because he was into some criminalistic YN shit, like OGYN. And he was very familiar with the local PD in Staten Island. Like, they knew him first name basis. Oh, that's that nigga over there. We know you, right? And at first, little petty shit, sticky fingers at the stove. And then Hubert moved up to a little snatch and grab type shit, right? But then he moved and got into some gang shit around 1981 when he was around 16 years old. Part of a little crew, and they had a little thing that they did. They was snatching purses from old ladies. If you don't leave Petunia pocketbook robbing her of her Social Security money, just a goddamn shame. Get out here and get a job somewhere. But no, y'all got an organized crime ring. They can hit you with a RICO charge. You know what I'm saying? Well, he does this, and like I said, he's 16 is 1981. That following year, Mama Geralds died. His mama died, and her 8 children scattered. You know what I'm saying? And they say Hubert was for the streets. He was dibbling and dabbling as a drug dealer because he caught quite a few charges for that. Then in 1983, when he was 18, he graduated to laying motherfuckers down with that blicky. Sir, go get a job. But, because he was young, every time they caught him doing some shit, they just gave him a slap on the wrist and then sent him back out there to crime it up some more. That same year in 83, when they let him go, he got caught in Staten Island on a burglary charge. He caught a robbery charge in Manhattan. Like, you going state to state at this point. They gave him a year for the burglary charge in 1984, and then they gave him 18 to 54 months for the robbery. So basically that sat his little robbing ass down till around 1990. But then he get out and he go do some more dumb shit. Y'all, this motherfucker go out and rob this woman for the grand total of $54. $54. You just got out of prison, and here you go, ready to go back for $54? Institutionalized, maybe. I don't know. Prison bay, maybe. Well, for them $54, they gave his ass 4 years on March 29th, 1990. All right. Now, once he went to prison, he was up for parole like every goddamn year. And they let him do like almost 2 years or some change, and then they let him go to the halfway house. This is like June of 1992. And like I said, doing the math, he did about 2 years and some change for being a robber that robbed people, right? And when he got out, they say he went on to go live with one of his sisters in Chicago. Her name was Angela. I guess he figured, Staten Island, I'm out here just robbing and doing all this wild shit. I need a change of scenery. Let me go back home. Because again, I told y'all they say that he was born in Chicago. So, let me go back to the Windy City. I start my life over, turn over a new leaf, right? You would think that that's what a prison nigga would say. Not this nigga, clearly, because as soon as he touched down, he was back on his bullshit. Caught a burglary charge in Illinois, somewhere. It didn't say Chicago, so somewhere in Illinois. And that was in October of 92. Now, you ain't been out long enough to even change your address yet. For this, they gave him 5 years, and even though they gave him 5 years, he only served, again, 1 and some change before they bounced him out the door to go crime some more. So, doing the math, because I'm okay, I can do a little piece of this math, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that he two-stepped to freedom sometime in 1994. Now, I understand. Maybe 1 or 2 of your newbies might be thinking, wait a minute, now did she say something about some prolific shit in the introduction? This nigga here ain't mayhem, and the way we need him to be mayhem and to be brought to the congregation like you said you was gonna do. And all I can say to that, to my newbies and maybe some of the oldest who still doubt the country girl, if you just hold on, I'm about to get there. It ain't gonna take me long at all, because baby, this nigga here is fixing to jump all the way off the porch. Now, Sister Angela, that's where he's staying at, right? When he get out of prison, he stays with Angela for about 2 years, if that much. And that's what a good sister do, right? It's 8 of them. So, mama gone, daddy been gone. We got to look out for one another. And from what I read in all of the interviews that the siblings gave, they're a tight-knit, spaced-out family. Like, even in all of his wrongdoing, they stand by their brother. And you can't hate on that, right? Somebody needs somebody to love at all time. Even the goddamn robbing robbers that rob. But your boy is fixing to go from robbing to doing some mayhem shit to make him land right here on Melanin Mayhem. So, he with Angela, right? And it's about, like I said, going into 2 years of his little stay at the hotel, Sister Angela. And somewhere around June of 1995, your girl, Sister Angela, she was minding her business at her crib, and she started smelling something that didn't smell right. Like, absolutely horrible. Something stank up in here, that type shit. The kind that worries you. The kind that makes you, I got to go find where the fuck this smell coming from, because something ain't right, right? Well, Angela goes to find the source of the smell. She goes around the building in the backyard, and smell is stronger here. She keep going. Baby, tell me why Angela opens up a Herbie Kirby and find a dead body. God damn it, in the motherfucking Herbie Kirby. So, of course, Angela freaks the fuck out. And she calls the police. And, understandably so. I mean, who expects to go outside and find a woman unalived in the trash can? And whoa. Not only that, to know the dead woman that's in the motherfucking Herbie Kirby. Yes, auntie. Mary, the lady in the Herbie Kirby, and Angela was friends. Ooh, sweet black Jesus. That's some nasty work there, because I'm finna tell you went down, right? So, the woman in the Herbie Kirby was 42-year-old Mary Blackman. Now, Angela found her in the trash can on June 17th, 1995. What had happened was Mary, oh, Mary, don't you weep. Her and Herbert, they had been doing a little cracky crack in the basement of the building where apparently they all lived in, right? And something went wrong, and the next thing you know, Mary is hitting the pipe in paradise. Oh, Mary, don't you weep. Tell Martha not to moan. Type shit. Okay, keep it together, Nate. I'm sorry, y'all. So when they do a little investigating, when the police get there, they find out that perhaps Herbert was the last person to see Angela. And they find this out because Sister Angela, oh baby, she told it all. Baby, the dimes was dropping on Brother Man. Baby, Angela told them how she always knew that her brother was off, that he was always into some criminaling type shit, and that he was smoking dope and acting all weird and shit. And she thought for sure that he had something to do with Mary's disconnection. So the police was like, word? That's how you feel? And she was like, damn sure is. That's where you need to go, because I know he had something to do with Mary. And so the police was like, okay. And they go scoop him up 3 days later. They take him to the station, right? As protocol, we've got to go question him, right? Now, here's what's crazy. Just like the police in Staten Island knew Herbert, and I'm calling this man Herbert, but his name is really Hubert. But I feel comfortable in my blackness that even though his name is spelled Hubert, his people call him Herbert. Because that's what we do. Your mama called you Herbert, I'm going to call you Herbert. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm having a procedure in the morning. Just bear with me. Okay, so here's what's crazy. Just like they knew him in Staten Island, they know him in Chicago now as well. This crazy motherfucker Herbert, he had reported the death of a woman earlier this same year in March. Come to find out, he killed that woman too. Her name was Joyce Wilson. Joyce was 28 years old. Her body was found March 26, 1995, half dressed and all the way strangled. Now, they don't know this that Hubert killed her at the moment, right? I'm going to tell you the whole story because, again, remember, it's not a whole lot of meat on the bone on this. But they got this nigga, Hubert, down at the station. And damn it, this nigga Hubert didn't get a case of goddamn cyclospora of the mouth. This motherfucker up in there just spewing out shit. You know, the detectives, they up in there thinking that he bought the cop to Mary's disconnection, right? Your sister said you did it. Let's go ahead and close the book on Miss Mary's murder. Okay. This nigga surprised everybody and confessed to 6 killations. Baby, they was up in there clutching pearls like a mother. Like, what? What you mean 6? Like, what? This nigga say he killed a woman named Doretha Withers. Doretha was 37 years old, and they found her body discarded December 22nd, 1994. They found a woman named Alonda Tart, 23 years old. She was found March 14th, 1995. So what is that? Almost a 3-month swing between Doretha Withers and Alonda Tart. Both women found half-dressed and strangled. No suspects, right? Cold cases. But then this nigga say he also unalived a woman named Joyce Wilson. Joyce Wilson is the woman that he called in March that said that he found a dead body. Let me tell you how this shit went down. Now, it's March 26, 1995. Mind you, this is like 2 weeks after he just killed Alonda Tart. Baby, this motherfucker killed Joyce in a delivery truck at his job. Let me say that again. He killed this woman at his job in a delivery truck. Well, Nay, what the fuck they were doing in the truck? Let me tell you what they was doing in the truck. They was in that motherfucker smoking crack. Hubert, he done spazzed out and unalived her in the way that he do when he do what he do. But here's the thing. He was smart enough to know that he wasn't going to be able to move Joyce's body out of that truck without somebody seeing. So he comes up with the bright idea to call the police and report her death. What'd he say, Nate? This motherfucker called the police and say, hey, I just seen somebody running from my truck. When I went over there, it's a dead body in there. Now I ain't see who that was running. I just seen somebody running. I know, I just had to let that sit there in the atmosphere for a minute. You needed to absorb that for a moment. Nigga, what? Yes. He couldn't report her himself that he found a dead body while he did report it, but he couldn't, of course, take her body and hide it like he had done not even hide it, because he just threw Doretha and Alonda off to the side. But he just knew he could not open them doors and pull that body out of that truck without risking somebody somewhere on that lot, wherever that truck was parked, seeing it, right? So, bright idea, somebody else did it. I just found it. So the police, they came out there and they was looking skeptical like a motherfucker, because, it sounded like some Juicy Smollett shit to me, some of them type of fabulations. But, just like Juicy, they let Hubert go. Even though they knew, man, what the fuck? You want us to believe this? Okay, whatever. I still have to say, a marginalized woman. All 3 of these women, in some way, shape, form, or fashion, like to dibble and dabble and do what they do, right? But it don't matter. Just because they dibbled and dabbled didn't mean that this man had the authority to take their lives, right? And he took their lives and didn't nobody even know he did it. So he got in here and started talking about it. And guess what? He's not done. He's still talking. Then there was 25-year-old Millicent Jones. They called her Peanut. They found Peanut June 12th, 1995. So that's what, March, April, May, June. Again, another 3-month swing. And then the last murderation was, of course, oh, Mary, don't you weep. Miss Blackman, 42 years old, whose sister Angela found June 17th, 1995. That's 5 days after you unalived Peanut. Now, all of these women were discarded. And when I say discarded, like they might be found on the side of a building, in a trash can, just tossed aside where the fuck ever. Now, Hubert said he also was party to a crime. Back in Staten Island in 1982, he said he helped somebody get rid of a body. What you talking about, Willis? All I can say is, nigga, shut the fuck up, it's free. Instead, you up in the precinct working for free. I mean, but I guess we should say thank you, huh? Okay, yeah, thank goodness for dumbass can't shut the fuck up criminals. That and sisters that turn they killer siblings in. I mean, thank you, Sister Angela, because without you, none of this would be possible. So they formally arrested Hubert on June 20th, 1995. So, of course, he up in here, he didn't just confess to 5 murders, he confessed to 6. His story, let him tell it, how all of this went down with each of these women, is that he would smoke crack with them, right? And he liked that. He liked to get loose and smoke crack with the women that like to smoke crack with him, right? But when he got to smoking the crack, he was prone to crashing out. And so how it would go down is they would be getting geeked, and then he'd get paranoid about the dope, thinking they was trying to smoke up more than he was smoking, or they was trying to take his crack from him, or whatever, in his mind they were doing. And the next thing, he is either choking them out by putting their ass basically in the full Nelson, or squeezing their throats with his thumbs, in his words, until they stopped breathing and fell down. And say he learned this particular move because he said he used his thumbs. He wrapped his hands around these women's throat, and then he put his thumbs into their, trachea, and squeezed. And he learned how to do that shit at a self-defense class he took back in New York. But Hubert also had something else to say. He said, look, I murked them for sure, but I didn't rape them. I just took their clothes off to kind of throw y'all off the scent a little bit, make y'all think y'all were looking for a rapist instead of a murderer. I swear for God, I did not have sexual relations with them women's, Bill Clinton type shit. And he said that he didn't mean to kill Mary, don't you weep, but he didn't want his sister to find out that he was smoking crack in the basement with her friend. So he killed Mary so Angela wouldn't find out. Nigga, what? What kind of sense? Even on crack, I don't think that makes sense. If you don't want her to know you smoking crack with Mary, then don't smoke crack with Mary. It's like 100 other women out here who will smoke crack with you besides Mary. Or here's a novel idea. Just smoke the crack with Mary. That's all you got to do. Just smoke the crack, get high as you can possibly get, and then just go. Go. Just go. Go get some more crack. Go find somebody else to smoke some more crack with. Go take a nap. Go get a job. Go do something. But anything other than kill woman after woman after woman after woman. And you just got out of prison. You a robbing ass nigga. Like, what the fuck is you doing? Wow. Clearly trying to get your PhD in criminality. But here's the thing, y'all. I'm going to tell you, when I first started reading up on this case, at this point, when he is confessing, when he's being interrogated, I'm going to tell you, I thought something was a little sketchy. I did, because Hubert picked these women out of a deck of pictures of victims of violence in Chicago, right? And they say Hubert was up in that bitch just picking pictures out. Her, her, that one, her too, that one. Just, just pointing, picking, right? And we know his peoples said that he wasn't to show up his knife in the rack. So, putting all this together, I started wondering, maybe, just maybe, is Hubert one of them types that'll say anything even if they didn't do anything? But wait, there's more. Come to find out, Hubert left a survivor. On April 14th, 1995. Now, April 14th, that would have been between the murders of Joyce Wilson, that's the woman he killed in his delivery truck, and Peanut. Peanut was the one that was killed in June, so he killed Joyce in March. He assaulted this woman I'm finna tell you about in April, and then he, I guess, laid off June and then laid off May and then picked back up in June. I don't know, but what we found out happened in April is that on April 14th, he assaulted a woman and he tried to turn her water off. This woman's name is Cleishon Hopes. Cleishon was 23 years old at the time. He choked her out, but she woke up in the midst and was able to get away with the breath still in her body. Hallelujah. She must have had a praying grandmother. And I'm going to tell you all about it when we get to the trial. Now, they would go on to charge Hubert Geralds Jr. with 6 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and 1 count of sexual assault for Cleishon. Now, you might be saying, Nay, my math mathing? You said Doretha, you said Alonda, you said Joyce, you said Peanut, and you said Mary. But you said he got charged with 6. That's 5 women. Where the hell did 6th one come from? I'm going to tell y'all in just a minute. I can't get it all the way, Got to show you a little bit, then take it back. Show you a little bit, then take it back. Well, let me show you a little bit more. So, like I said, they charged him with 6 counts of murder, 1 count of attempted murder, and 1 count of sexual assault. Those 2 counts were for Cleishon. Hubert's trial, it started at the end of October in 1997, right? From jury selection to the conclusion of the trial at the verdict, it lasted 3 weeks long, right? But baby, Hubert Jr., it is time to face the music for murdering 6 people and a possible. Now, the prosecution, oh honey, they came out swinging. Oh, Nick Ford and Gene Bischoff, they was for the prosecution. And baby, they were throwing jabs and haymakers from the gate. They put Cleishon on the stand and she told it all because she was the one that was showing a pattern of how Hubert did, how the fuck he did, when the fuck he did. You know what I'm saying? So, Cleishon say they had been smoking their backside all evening, smoking skeesters. If you don't know what a skeester is, that's weed with a little crack sprinkled on top for a little extra razzle dazzle. I told y'all I know all kind of people who do all kind of shit, so don't worry about how I know what the fuck a skeester is. Just know that you know what a skeester is, so just in case you partake and make sure ain't nobody giving you skeesters if you don't want to smoke no skeester. Anyway, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. They smoking, right? And it then this nigga goes all the way left and it came out of left field. She says that they ran out of drugs, so they decided to split up and go cop some more. Cleishon say she, had a little piece of change on her and she was gonna go buy some dope. Hubert was trying to cop some crack on credit. They go their separate ways. They go real, right? Plans, I guess, maybe to meet back up later if it goes down like that. If not, I see you later type shit, right? Cleishon say she was walking down the way, minding her business, finna go get her shit. And the next thing she know, somebody grabbed her from behind, lifted her off the ground by the motherfucking neck. Y'all know I keep telling y'all, protect your neck. Cleishon is a perfect example. Now, next thing Cleishon know is lights out. She comes to sometime later in a van. Now, mind you, she was on the street last time she knew anything about anything. Now she is inside of a van, and Hubert nasty necrophilia ass is on top of her doing the nasty to what was supposed to be her dead body. Because let him tell it, he done choked her out, right? When she woke up, he was just as surprised as she was. What the fuck? Keep it together, Nate. Keep it together. She say she got away because she basically threw herself head first through a piece of plywood that was taped over the space where the doors of the van should have been. Baby, she was naked in her southern region, but she was Sha'Carri Richardson out there, baby, running for her literal life. And so this is setting the table for, he did this to me and I got away. Now, you know, it came out cliche and told a couple of things, because when she got away, when she got home, she reported what had happened to her. But you know, her story changed a couple of times, shit like that happens, especially when you're scared. Motherfucker just tried to take me out, this motherfucker. I don't know. I need a mama. Where my crack? I need a skeezer. I need a something. I don't know what it is, but I need something. Give me a minute. But she got it together by the time it was time to go to trial. And now we see that, okay, Hubert, you like to choke a bitch out and you hollering about how you don't like to rape him, but motherfucker, you was on top of Keyshawn. The prosecution also had another lady. This lady was from the neighborhood where Hubert lived. Knew Hubert. This woman's name was Jacqueline Kelly. And like I said, she was cute. She was cool with Hubert, conversational with Hubert. And she's on the state's docket to testify. So she got on the stand and said that Hubert was always talking about women that he killed. Say what, bitch? Yes, he telling her like this is not a secret. He ain't hiding in the shadows. Random women you cool with that you maybe Jacqueline didn't smoke that dope. You know what I'm saying? So they just carried on a regular conversation. However, whatever, he told her specifically, I kill bitches. That's what I do. And all I can say is, Lord have mercy, we will see and not see. And we will hear and not hear. Just steady be making excuses for a motherfucker. Maya Angelou been told us that when people show you who they are, believe them. That's shame advice for when a motherfucker tell you who they are and they are saying that they are a murderer that murders women in y'all neighborhood for fun. Believe that motherfucker. And not only believe that motherfucker, but call Crime Stoppers and turn his motherfucking ass in. And if it's a her, turn her ass in too. Get that little money. That was my PSA for today. So Jackie up on the stand, and she says that, you know, in conversations that they would have, he would tell her what he was doing. And when, you know, she'd be like, man, you ain't doing nothing, Herbert. Policeman done got you by now. He'll be like, he was, quote, too smart for the police. And that might be kind of a true statement because it was his sister Angela that cracked the case. He would tell her how the police didn't have no evidence. And they didn't. She said after they questioned Hubert about Joyce's murder, you know, the one in his delivery van, he would walk around the hood showing his release paperwork. Just showing the shit off that, yeah, they had me and they let me go. Just waving it around like he a child with a report card. And all I can do is shake my damn head. Like, what? Okay. So the defense team, this was led by Michelle Henderson and Bernard Sarley of public defender fame. They tried to get the confession thrown out. Not happening. They were saying that the police questioned Hubert for a whole weekend without him being able to have a lawyer. And then they said that they just showed Hubert a bunch of pictures and Hubert was just pointing out the ones he thought was pretty. He didn't know what was going on. And then they say, y'all ain't got no evidence other than Hubert's word that he did that shit. So we say he lied and we taking all of it back. So then they said, well, Hubert saw a movie in prison one time, and there was a dude in there that was choking a bitch out while he was stroking a bitch out, and that just did it for him. And ever since, he was a, quote, y'all ain't gonna believe this. This motherfucker said, Hubert, ever since he saw that movie, was a man with a man's urges. Bitch, I slap you. What? I my God, I keep trying to calm myself down every time I reread this. Like, what the fuck? Are you serious, bitch? Like, I really have to remind myself that all this shit happened damn near 30 years ago. It ain't a thing in the world that I can do about none of the foolishness that his defense team came up with now. And I understand everybody has the right to a defense, right? And whatever's clever. But God damn it, man, he got a man's urges. Again, bitch, I slap you. You and Hubert. So their play from the defense's side was like, hey, I tell you what. If you gonna convict him, just don't give him a disconnect notice, y'all, because he's slow. Just let him rot in there with 3 hots and a cot. What's crazy, though, is that nigga Hubert, throughout this entire 3-week trial where the defense is fighting for his life and the prosecution is just throwing everything against the wall to convict his ass, he was the most unbothered motherfucker on the planet. Baby, the things that he was doing in that courtroom amount to nothing. They say that he was dozed off for most of the trial. Nigga, for real? You supposed to be up in this motherfucker fighting for your life. And now you out here acting like you got the itis? Maybe you is a slow motherfucker, or this is a good ass act, or you really just didn't give a fuck. Cause I'm sorry, I don't know. Even if I did do the shit, I'm gonna pay attention in court. I need to see what the fuck is going on. We might be able to pull a caper in this bitch. I don't know, but sleep, that's the ultimate fuck you to the jury. Or if you having a bench trial, to the judges, like, oh, you not even gonna be bothered enough to stay awake. So okay, we got your ass. Just hold on, Cletus. Hold the fuck on. Well, when it was time for the closing arguments, the prosecution was livid at the fact that the defense was asking for the death penalty to be taken off the table. It was like life in prison. Oh, hell to the no. Oh, Nick said life without parole was like sending Hubert Geralds to his room. I like Nick. He said a place he's been in and out of since he was 15 years old. Endless days of playing basketball, watching TV, lifting weights, and hanging out with his buddies. Nick said it's like college without the classes. Oh, Nick. Points were made, darling. I'm picking up what you put down. Run that shit. Because, baby, Nick was not through. Nick wanted all the smoke. That motherfucker say, ain't shit slow about this nigga in real life. He play that crazy shit for the shrinks. But when he was writing them letters to the newspaper talking about how he was going to sue the shit out of them, this nigga was very, quote, verbose. I like that word, verbose. You don't really get a chance to use it much in a sentence because while I do have a big vocabulary these days, I don't feel the need to use a $10 word when 2 cents will do. But I can, you know what I'm saying? Because this motherfucker, when he was talking his shit about who he was gonna sue, oh, he was an old loquacious ass nigga. Yeah, I like that dude. That's another word you don't really get a chance to use a lot. Loquacious and verbose. Anyway, moving the fuck on. Nick was like, look, as far as I can see it, this is a quote, what mitigation on earth is enough to spare this man? If he found a cure for cancer one day and the next day he took a bullet for the president of the United States, it still wouldn't be enough. And Nick, I hear you, but all I want to know, we talking about 44 or 45, 47? Don't worry about it. Again, 30 years ago, don't even worry about it. It don't even matter. Well, you know, Nick went on, because he still went through. He went on to talk some shit about the money that the defense had spent on experts to get on the stand and say that Hubert was mentally retarded. That's their word. Mind you, of the times, they were still using the R word, right? He said, for $28,000, because that's how much money the defense spent on their experts. He said, for $28,000, I could take him being Hubert, to my mechanic, and for $28,000, he would say Hubert needed a new carburetor. Nick. Nick, you being petty as fuck right now. And I'm here for all of it, man. Talk your shit, Nick. Talk that shit. That'd have thrown me out that courtroom because I'd have been in the amen corner like a mood. Baby, the defense was like, okay, touche, nigga, touche. But look at here, Mr. and Mrs. Jerry Peoples. Yes, these was horrible crimes. No doubt about it. The victims' families will never be the same. But executing Hubert will not make them whole. Yeah, you might be true about that, but motherfucker, it will make me feel better. Do y'all remember the Players Club? Let me tell you something. I would watch that movie every day when I came home from school. I love the Players Club. Dollar bill, dollar bill. I say that to say, do y'all remember when St. Louis told Brooklyn, do something to make me feel better? And then Brooklyn went and blowed up the club. I feel like St. Louis. I might not get my money, but I'm going to get my lick back. Bitch, I might not be able to get my loved one back. But guess what? We got our motherfucking lick back. So yes, disconnect that ass. So the jury was made up of 8 women and 4 men. Baby, they convicted him of all 6 murders, November 14th, 1997. And as well as the murders, they also got him for Keyshawn, her aggravated criminal sexual assault and attempted murder, for the one that got away. And this particular date when this verdict came out, November 14th, was the day after his birthday. Happy birthday, nigga. Disconnect notice on the way, nigga. Now, the verdict comes out in one court session, but the actual sentencing comes out in additional session, right? And so they didn't get around to the sentencing until January 9th, 1998. And that's when Judge Michael Tooman put his ass on the list for a state-sponsored disconnection. You got to go, nigga. You can't stay here no longer. Your time here is done. You have done quite enough. Thank you very much. And normally, here is when I start talking about, Hubert Geralds Jr. is an inmate, blah, 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 blah. But not just quite yet. Because, baby, there is a gotcha in this case. Come to find out, Hubert Geralds did not kill one of the 6 people he was convicted of killing. Remember, we talked about this. I gave you 5 names, but I didn't give you that 6th one. Well, the 6th woman, her name was Rhonda King. Oh, baby, yes, Rhonda was murdered. Absolutely. Her murder went unsolved until Hubert picked her ass out of a lineup and said, yep, I did her too. But Hubert did not do her. Another serial killer did. One thing that is becoming crystal clear in my mind is that in many cities around the U.S., there was a serial killer problem. And I'm saying the word were. There was a serial killer problem. But I think that still may be true today, that there are multiple bad actors within a small geofence, if you will. So the problem was it was multiple murdering motherfuckers out here unaliving melanated women with many of the same or similar characteristics. Those that were purveyors of the poussey or connoisseurs of the cooked up cocaine and baking soda, right? And so law enforcement was out here back then and possibly still now out here playing match the game, the match game. Which one goes with who? Which serial killer did who, right? So in the case of Hubert's pussy punk ass, they had matched Rhonda King to him when in fact somebody else did Rhonda dirty. Another disgusting, dusty dick son of a bitch named Andre Crawford. So, of course, I had to go look up Andre's ass and cousins. Oh, my Lord. I swear, I just stumbled. I 2 steps and I'm gonna trip over a goddamn serial killer. And like I said, I had to look up Andre's ass, and baby, oh my God, we're gonna have to talk about Andre ass next week, cause that's all I got to say about that. So anyway, how it came about that Hubert didn't kill Rhonda was because Andre confessed to disconnecting Rhonda. And now you know, confessions of the plurational variety are usually met with skepticism. You know, yeah, nigga. Sure, you killed 50 women. Of course you did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. But in Andre's case, he had receipts to back up them checks. He was right. And when the DNA machine co-signed on the fuckery, baby, it was a wrap. And so now the law has a conundrum. How the fuck did Hubert Geralds Jr. get around to confessing to a murderation he didn't do? And I can answer that one. I think I really do have a plausible explanation. Just like niggas lie on they dick, serial killers are also lying liars that lie about the actual number of teardrops they got. For real, for real. But here is when it gets interesting after all this shit came to light. The National Registry of Exonerations, think of that as the guest book, if you will, where people sign in, where if you were sent to prison and they fought and realized you didn't do what they said you did and they get you off, you've been exonerated, right? So this is the National Registry of everybody who's ever been exonerated, right? And so they classify Herbert's conviction of cutting off Rhonda's water as involving a false confession. And so then it goes on to say that, you know, Herbert was a few sandwiches short of a picnic, and basically he was a grown man with the mind of an 8-year-old. They playing up on that he dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? Add to that, 2 of Herbert's original 6 murder convictions were based completely on him saying that he was the one that did that shit. Rhonda's and somebody else. And now we see you lied about Rhonda. You think they dug deep to see if he was lying about that other one? They didn't. I'm gonna have to go see Usher and Breezy. I'm gonna really have to, because I swear all I'm hearing in my head is confessions. God is trying to tell me something. That is so not the point. So either way, I don't care if you subtract 2 or carry the 1. Hubert Geralds Jr.'s pussy ass is still a serial killer, because even if you take the 2 away, killing 4 ain't no hoe ass shit. I mean, it makes the killer a hoe ass nigga, but I digress. But I don't know. It does make you wonder, or at least it makes me wonder, how many unsolved homicides did the popo match up to the wrong killer trying to close out some cases? You know what I'm saying? Think about it like this. When you got 50 little motherfuckers that made mac and cheese for the fume, it's hard to say whose is whose. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got mac and cheese. You don't know what that Miss Claritha's over there, or if Gerald mama made that. You get what I'm saying? So when you have several killers of the serial variety running around Chicago in them same hoods, because this was some hood shit. These were hood or hood adjacent women, right? These activities weren't happening like that in the Gold Coast neighborhood or the Lincoln Park neighborhood, which is not to say that women in those neighborhoods wouldn't selling coochie or doing drugs. I'm just saying the serial killers' hunting grounds were in the hood and are always in the hood. Not to be confused with saying that that's the only place that they hunt, but that's where they most comfortable hunting. You know what I'm saying? So these are our neighborhoods, black people neighborhoods, lower and middle and sometimes higher income neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? And in Chicago in the 80s and the 90s, the Chicago neighborhood of Englewood, it's not Englewood, it's Englewood. They had a goddamn serial killer traffic jam going on. It was too many of them motherfuckers up there, and I'm gonna tell you about all of them. And it was buku marginalized black women dying that had never died before. And for the ones that actually got a little piece of an investigation on what had happened to them, nobody thought that it could be the same murderer out here murdering these women. I mean, I know we've talked about this ad nauseum. It was the crack era, and if it got out, once it was found out that the victims of any violence were people who indulged, they didn't look that hard. It was a whole lot of natural causes. I just don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? So again, how many of the ones where there was an actual investigation were matched up with the right killer? Because again, they lie on their dicks. So Hubert said some shit with his whole chest, and y'all believe that shit, and it was cap. I'm just saying. All right, Nate. So what happened to Hubert Geralds' convictions? Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. In February of 2000, the prosecutors, they moved to vacate Herbert's conviction for Rhonda King's murder, after your boy Andre confessed, and the DNA evidence really didn't give him no choice but to acknowledge that, he didn't do this shit, right? So he wasn't exonerated as an innocent man in the he didn't do none of that shit kind of way, right? He was exonerated just for Rhonda King's murder because he did that shit that we charged him with. He just didn't do that one. And for that, our bad. But understand, Rhonda's name was on all the paperwork. And at this particular time, all the paperwork got to be right. This one time at least. And so according to the National Registry of Exonerations, you can look it up for yourself if you like, the prosecutors, they vacated the other 5 convictions that he had for murder as well, right? And then they just drew up some new paperwork. And they made it clear, yeah, nigga, you didn't kill Rhonda, but you did kill Doretha, Orlando, Joyce, Peanut, and Mary. Peanut being Millicent, right? Now, they didn't do another trial or nothing like that. They basically had Hubert plead guilty one more again to them 5 that we 10 toes down that you did. But this is what they did. Since they dropped the ball on, this whole Rhonda fiasco, they took the death sentence off the table and instead gifted him with life without parole sentences. So, historically speaking, as in history making bullshit, this is a weird circumstance of 2 things being true at the same time. Hubert Geralds Jr. name is in the exoneration registry while simultaneously being on the inmate registry as a convicted serial killer at the same damn time. Ooh, child. Hubert, let me say this man's name right. Hubert Geralds Jr. And that's Geralds with an S. Hubert Geralds Jr. Because I done fucked his name up the entire podcast, and I can promise you I'm not going to go back because I still say they call him Herbert. Anyway, Jr. is inmate B39967 at Hill Correctional Center. And as of this month, he is 61 years old, still yet holding on. I don't know. I'm torn about this one because all I can think is that he must have had a prison bay. Think about it. Follow me now. He was out all of a few months before he started killing. Doretha got sent to the upper room in December of 1994. The nigga had only been out for a few months, if that long. We might be talking more so in weeks than we are about months before he killed Doretha. So the argument that he was institutionalized don't really work, but I guess it could work because think about it. He go in, he go out. He go in, he come out. He go in, he come out. Maybe, just maybe Hubert didn't want to come out no more. And if he kept doing what he normally do, which is robbing and stealing, he would continue the cycle of in and out. He just want to be done with the shit. So, fuck it. I'm just going to kill up a whole gang of motherfuckers. I'm sure we could have come up with something, Hubert. Something else, anything else other than this that could have gotten you the rest of the time that you needed. Like, you didn't have to kill nobody. You could have went up and punched a couple of cops or some shit. You know what I'm saying? It's ways to get thrown in prison for the rest of your life without killing a motherfucker. Run up in the bank. Run up in the air bank with a goddamn pistol. They'll get you. Run through the airport with, there are ways to get locked up for a long fucking time. And when it's time for you to get out, fuck somebody up. Don't kill them. Just fuck them up. They will keep you in. You ain't never got to get out if you don't want to get out. Oh, Lord. And clearly, you don't want to get out because you ain't going to never get out. And that's a goddamn shame that the taxpayers of Illinois have been footing the bill for your ass all this time. Almost 30 years. And you probably got another good 30 years in you. You know the motherfuckers outlive everybody. He'll be 97, busting 100. Still in this motherfucker. Still yet holding on. Trifling bastard. Let me tell you this. When a motherfucker tell you they kill people, we need to believe that. Like, I know we kind of live by the motto, many of us don't believe what people say. Like, I don't believe shit people say. I take everything with a grain of salt. Maybe that's a better way to put that. Like, you can tell me that you are, I don't know, rich beyond my wildest dreams. Okay, great. That works for you. You could tell me you poor. I don't know. I take everything with a grain of salt because you never know what a full story is until I can flesh it out, suss it out for myself. I'm just, whatever. But I'm just saying, if they tell you they're killing people, it's okay to believe that. Like, that's not something to joke around about. We can joke and we can kiki. I can make light, not even make light. I can lighten the subject matter by, being nay. But I'm saying, I ain't gonna never tell y'all, I'm finna go ahead and fuck a motherfucker up. Y'all better believe it. And y'all, if you see something on the news in Atlanta and some shit happened and they don't know who did it and it sound like me, you better turn my ass in. Get that Crime Stoppers money. I'm just saying, if someone tells you that they kill people, they have killed people, they like killing people, and they smiling and carrying on like we talking about the weather, that motherfucker is thrown the fuck off, and you need to get as far away from them as possible. And again, drop dimes. They need to be dimes dropping all over. Crime Stoppers got money out there. That's free checks. That's like a car accident. I'm just saying. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. When a motherfucker tell you they kill people, believe them. Now, the only other thing I have to say about this particular case for this episode is, with me, mental illness gets you one killation. Just one. Follow my logic. Mentally unstable, you were off your meds, undiagnosed, whatever the case may be, there is something there that made you imbalanced. I will give you one time to hurt, maim, kill somebody. And then I do believe that hospitalization is the better way to go. Let's do hospital time rather than prison time. Again, one killation. However, multiple killations, meaning more than one, fuck that mental shit. I'm on some, you did the crime, you do the motherfucking time. I don't care if your IQ is negative 600. I don't give a fuck. If you can breathe, if you can put your shirt on and it cover most of your body, if you can put your shoes on, I don't care if they're on the wrong feet. I don't care if you don't bathe. I don't care if you talk to the man over there in the corner. I don't care if you hear voices. I don't give a fuck. You got one time. Once. That could be counted as accidental as a result of, but multiple murderations, get the fuck out of here. You can kiss my ass on that. Council Christmas, I love it. I don't believe it. I ain't gonna never believe it. And if I am on the jury, your ass is going down. Please believe it. I ain't trying to hear it. Multiples? Get up out of here. And lastly, law enforcement. Law enforcement. Do better. DNA will save the day when Sister Angela ain't around. It ain't a lot of siblings that will turn in their family members like Angela did. I'm just saying, think about it. If Angela never said a word, could Hubert still be out on the streets? Because the police didn't have no clue it was him. None whatsoever. Thank you, Sister Angela. I don't know if you still around and kicking it. If y'all know Sister Angela, let her know she did a good thing, because she probably got her a seat in the kingdom for that one. Whereas Hubert, I hope you got a seat right by the fire, bro. Right? Nice where it's real warm and cozy. I hope you sweat. And that's all I got to say about this week, New One Nation. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Hit me up on social media. You know how to get at your girl. I am the Melanin Mayhem podcast everywhere except for X, where I am Melanin Mayhem PC. The website that you can also reach out is melaninmayhempodcast.com. On Facebook, don't forget that fabulous discussion group. Go on ahead and get down with us. Answer a few questions. I'll let you in. Ooh, the Melanin Mayhem original story series. Oh my goodness, this week. Ooh, Miss Ernestine has been bringing the tears and bringing the tea, baby. Get on over there at Melanin Mayhem Podcast at supercast.com, and you too can get the story series as well as the monthly meetups live and in person with your favorite country girl. Kiki, chop it up, whatever you want to talk about. That's what the hell we gonna talk about. Other than that, it's about time for us to do our New One Nation shout out. And this week I am shouting out Miss TM123, who did 5 stars and titled her review 10 out of 10. Thank you, girl. Miss TM123 said, "This is now my favorite podcast." Thank you, boo. She keeps me entertained as I drive to and from work. The stories are factual and she gives them in her own sense of humor. She is one of a kind with her storytelling, a must listen to. Oh, thank you, girl. That is so sweet. Miss TM123, hearts all around. I so appreciate you for listening to me act a fool on this microphone. And all of y'all that tune in every week to see me cut up and clown and carry on while I make sure that y'all know to protect your neck, because these crazy people are out here. Ugh. And you know what? I'm also playing around. I told y'all I've got some ideas for a second podcast in my head, and baby, we're gonna have to talk about this menopause, perimenopause, and just getting into this next stage of life where what the fuck is going on. I don't know. Some days I feel like a teenager, y'all. I don't know nothing about nothing, and mostly it's because I got brain fog and I can't remember shit. And I feel like we need to talk about it because I have the best conversations with Black women, not even just Black women, but women, period, in the most random ass places about the bullshit we going through right now, and we all going through it. And you know I have a audience that spans all ages, from the teens all the way up to the seniors, so, and everything in between. So what I would say for those who have not yet been introduced to Miss Perry or that bitch Minnow, just because you ain't going through it right now, you're coming. And all we talking about is, didn't nobody tell us what the fuck is going on here? They ain't say nothing about this. All they said was hot flashes. Baby, I would trade everything for just to have some hot flashes and get rid of all the rest of these goddamn symptoms. So yeah, all of that to say, I am putting together something. I think I'm just gonna do it on YouTube because I want us to be on video. I don't know. I'm playing around with it, but I'm gonna put something up, and it's probably gonna be my teaser just to get some feedback on while I'm on hiatus for my birthday, because I told you I got some in the chamber for you. So stay tuned for that. I think we need to talk. We need to talk, ladies. And for you men folks too. I had a random guy walk up to me yesterday, literally, and ask me about his wife. Like I'm a doctor or some shit. Like he was legit like, man, what's wrong with my wife? This man was concerned. I told him, look, sir, please give her grace. She is fighting for her life right now. Please. She don't know what the fuck going on. What you can do is take her to the doctor. Let her get tested. Let her get her hormone levels checked because, baby, they can plummet and you don't even know it. Ugh. But again, things that we will talk about on a different podcast, not one about Black true crime. Now, although it is a crime, what's going on, but I digress. All right. Look, I got to get out of here because I do need to go to sleep because I do have to be up at the ass crack of dawn in the morning so I can drive clean across the metro area to let them torture me. So, since I got shit to do, I'm going to go ahead and close the doors of the church. But before we go, we have to make sure that we all remember to stay safe and stay vigilant because they out here. And baby, of all things to remember that the country girl said, remember this. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. It's one love, New One Nation. I miss y'all until next week. But guess what? I am out of here.
Ooh-wee, Nana, you did that.